Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for stopping by. If this is your first time, welcome. Glad you can be here. So this being Throwback Thursday and the 20th anniversary of Jehst's Alcoholic Author, I put the poll out there, man, and you guys have spoken. I think the last time I checked, it was like 96% voted yes to do this track today. So you guys have spoken, and big shout out. I didn't write the person's name down, and I apologize. But big shout out to the cat who let Harry Love know about our channel and know about my Instagram account. I've been chatting a little bit with Harry Love about this track, so and about some other stuff that he's got on the burner. So big shout out to all you guys, man, who have been spreading the word and getting people to come by. We're almost at 2,000 subscribers now, which is insane. Creeping closer to the 1 year anniversary. Got lots of fun stuff planned going forward. So yeah, man, let's keep this train rolling. It's been fun. So without further ado, man, I apologize. I can't believe we haven't did this track already. I mean, Jesus, we're almost a year into it, and I know there's got to be a bunch of people who have asked for this. It just has slipped through the cracks. So we're gonna rectify that, man. Let's jump right in. Give it a listen.
Left. You know what I mean?
What? Harry Love on the beats. Low Life Studios. 2001. One Space Western.
This beat is just madness, and I'm digging this. I don't know if that's a guitar or whatever that is. It's some kind of plucking instrument, I think. Really digging the way he's messing around with it. It sounds just insane, and I absolutely adore it, man. It sounds so friggin' cool.
You know the name. Jehst. Like Bukowski, the alcoholic author, son of the devil, I've turned wine into water. My physical form's a metaphor for disorder.
It's going to be like that, is it, son? Oh my God, damn! Jumping right on the track with a bar like the devil's son turning wine into water, which is the exact opposite of God's son who turned water into wine. Right off the start, Jehst is flexing those muscles, man. God damn.
Like Bukowski, the alcoholic author, son of the devil, I've turned wine into water. My physical form's a metaphor for disorder. Absorb the trauma, my status is borderline, and I'm short of time, short to find my keeper. I lie within reach of the reaper. The lights.
God damn, man. 51 seconds in, and the dude's blowing my mind. That bar about absorb the trauma, and I wonder with that is he talking about the fact that he absorbs the trauma, like everyone has trauma. He absorbs that trauma, uses that in his art, puts it into his words, into his poetry, or is he telling us that this is my trauma, this is my shit? Now you absorb it, man. You listen to these words and you absorb the things that I'm saying. You absorb my pain. You understand what I've gone through and what I'm talking about. And then he said something right after that I wanted to talk about. Now I've completely lost it because that friggin' bar is just stupid.
And I'm short of time, short to find my keeper. I lie within reach of the reaper.
Yeah, short on time, sure to find his keeper, short, then he talks about the Reaper, so he thinks he's getting close to death, or he at least feels like he's getting close to death, which goes back to his trauma. So it's like, and he talks about being borderline. So it's like the trauma is almost getting too much, like it's pushing him to a point where he feels like he's dying from it, and then leaving him short on time. It may be because I don't know a whole lot of Jehst's background, so I don't know if he's talked about it in the past. it's not coming to me at the moment anyway. If he's talked about some issues he's had with depression or issues he's had with addiction or alcoholism, and often those things, when people have those issues with trauma and depression and shit, people tend to turn to outside things like drugs and alcohol and stuff. And often those things lead to a shorter lifespan, or the fact that maybe he's feeling suicidal. Even that would be, I'm feeling like I can't take anymore, so I gotta end my own life. I don't know if that's what he's getting at, but hey, man, this is deep as shit, and I'm friggin' digging it.
And I'm short of time, short to find my keeper. I lie within reach of the reaper, the light sleeper drifts deeper into darkness. Read my palm and see the evil of my forefathers, born after the last.
Man, back to back, just friggin' banging bars. The light sleeper, and he's drifting deeper into darkness, which is two completely opposite things, right? Because if you're a light sleeper, you really don't ever fall deep into that REM sleep, right? Which would be drifting into the darkness, but at the same time, you got light and dark. You've got the fact too is often if you're a light sleeper or an insomniac, you're never really fully rested, meaning you're always in this like flight or fight mode, which can take a horrible toll on you, man, physically and mentally. So maybe that's what he's saying is like, I don't sleep, man. And because I don't sleep, I'm going deeper down that rabbit hole. I'm going deeper into that dark state where my mind isn't right. Which a lot of people explain to be darkness. Like when I was going through my depression and stuff, it's really what it feels like, man. It's just this conscious or continuous cloud of darkness that seems to, I used to call it a halo. Like I actually felt like I was wearing this halo of dark cloud. And it would just be there all the time. It's this darkness that you can't escape. Yeah, shit, man. I'm sorry, we're 50 seconds into this track. At this rate, this will be an hour video, which nobody wants, I'm sure. But I just can't stop it, man. This guy, these bars are just absolutely remarkable what he's doing with this track.
To darkness, read my palm and see the evil of my forefathers.
Shit, that's right. That's what I knew. I'd heard that the first time, but that is so freaking cool too, man. Like Jehst is saying, like if you go to a palm reader or a fortune teller, they're supposed to tell you your future, right? But Jehst is saying like you're gonna read my future, but all you see is the evils of my forefathers, meaning like the shit that his forefathers have done have already forged his path. He doesn't even have the choice. His future is already forged for him. It's already there waiting for him. He can't take his own path because his path has been made. All because of the shit that his forefathers have done.
Drifts deeper into darkness. Read my palm and see the evil of my forefathers. Born after the last generation of gypsies. Move from the sticks to the cities. Give me 26 characters for homesick travelers. Bicentennial men, hunter-gatherers.
So is that born after the last generation of gypsies? I know gypsies is a term I've heard quite a bit in the music. I also know he's in that track, Cosmic Gypsies. But he's talking about moving from the sticks to the cities. So I wonder if that's kind of like less and less people are living like on farms and living with nature, and they're moving into cities. They're crowded into estate living. We're all living on top of each other, getting in each other's faces, diseases, all that kind of other shit that comes with living in the city. And like the easier, maybe not easier, so to speak, in terms of it's easier to be a gypsy per se, but it's easier living in terms of the fact like all the evils and stuff that come from living within a city, all the noise, all the violence, all that kind of shit, it doesn't come out there, into the sticks kind of thing. They have their own shit, obviously, but I think that's what he's getting at. Or it could just be a shout out to, kind of making note of the fact that he was on Cosmic Gypsies. And that 26, give me 26 characters. Man, that's so freaking dope. 26 characters in the alphabet. All he needs, man, is 26 characters. He just needs those 26 characters to create something beautiful, man, with his words. And that's just a fucking dope line. God damn it.
Please give me 26 characters for homesick travelers, bicentennial men, hunter-gatherers who run with the scavengers and brave the dangers. My tongue a labyrinth.
He's saying that the homesick travelers, the people who run with the scavengers and deal with the dangers. So he's talking about, like, I think he's talking about the people who are living in the inner cities, dealing with all the shit that comes with living in poverty, which is like you're scavenging for those last, those last few pennies, or I don't know what it is over there, pounds or quid, whatever the hell. I apologize, I should know this, but you're scavenging for every little bit, man. Everything is a battle. To pay rent, to pay bills, to put food on the table for your family, to clothe your kids, like all that shit. You scavenge and you hunt, and not only that, you have to deal with all the dangers that come with it. Cats out there trying to steal your shit, so they can feed their family and put food on the table. Yeah, man. And I know he just dropped a bar here, something about his I'm not even going to try to, but it's something about his tongue being a labyrinth. Let's keep going.
Needle men, hunter-gatherers who run with the scavengers and brave the dangers. My tongue a labyrinth in this maze of pages. Playing David, I stand defiant to the last dying giant. The android man,
I wonder how many people I've lost so far this video. We're a minute 16 in and I'm pausing the shit of it. I apologize, but I just need to. That friggin' bar, again, with the biblical reference, David and Goliath. So I wonder if that Goliath is the fact that the last standing Goliath, is that like the record companies? Is that, is that him? I know Jehst has his own record company. So is that him saying, I'm independent, I'm a small cat, and I'm standing up to like the big guy, the record company? Or is that him like David and Goliath in terms of the little people and the elites kind of idea? It could go either way, but like many things that Jehst says, man, it could be taken multiple ways, at least two ways. So I wonder if that's what he's getting at with that bar. Freaking dope again.
Playing David, I stand defiant to the last dying giant. The android man, I walk silent and talk science. The child who sought guidance, the war cry echoes through these blood-stained empires. A man of many premonitions. Yes, vagabonds, rubbing little mags from the wasteland. Mojo sipping stepchildren of the earth. Mixing Smirnoff with dandelion and burner. A man of many premonitions. Yes, vagabonds, rubbing little mags from the wasteland. Mojo sipping stepchildren of the earth. Speaking in barbed wire tongues. Fascinated by the fire like a child trying to touch the flame. I see change like a bus, but things stay much the same. Cut the weather vane.
First off, that friggin' hook was just sick. The sampling, the scratch, I like a good scratch. Just sick. And then he drops a bar here about a busker searching for change. But things just like, man, like things just seem to stay the same. And I mean, that again could be taken multiple ways, but even to the fact that buskers play music or entertain for money, which is exactly what Jehst does. It's not the only reason why he does what he does, but part of it is doing what he, entertaining folks so they give him a little bit of money, is a small part of it. But then the double meaning to that is the fact, like, the change being change in your pocket, but also change to society, getting things to work differently. He's saying the thing is that we've said it on this channel a bunch of times, man. The more things change, the more they stay the same. And Jehst is basically saying the same stuff, man. Not only is he doing this to make some money, he's doing this to spread his knowledge, spread his words, hopefully making some money and causing change. But unfortunately, maybe neither of those things happen very often. So simple like just such a simple bar, but it's so beautifully crafted and can say so much. Like this dude.
The flame I see change like a bus, but things stay much the same. Cut the weather vane. I hear blood water tapping at the Lord's Morse code on my window pane. A rain dance till the harvest comes. Brave hearts keep beating to.
Cut the weather vane, and he's talking about blood tapping on the wind. Did he say blood tapping God's Morse code on the window pane? Is that what he said? Jesus Christ. Again, bringing God into the verse. This is multiple times now that he's brought up the Bible or some kind of religious religion into his verse. But this is the fact, like weather vane, rain is weather. Weather vane is that shit, that sock or whatever the hell it is that's on the thing. No, weather vane is that thing that spins, isn't it? I can't remember exactly what a weather vane is. But then he uses the vein as a vein in your wrist that you cut. Then he's got rain. He's got blood, rain or blood dropping as rain. We all know that sound of rain on our window, the tapping. We all know that. But I've never actually thought about it in terms of the fact that that's Morse code, say from God, tapping a message to me. That's just friggin' mind-blowingly sick, man. That image. I used to think as a kid that when I'd hear thunder, I used to think that was God bowling when I was a kid. But to think about that is that's God sending a message, tapping on the window. God, man.
Cold on my window pane, a rain dance till the harvest comes. Brave hearts keep beating to the hardest drums. Bastard sons are lost gods, long forgotten. Monolithic heads on this island gone rotten. On top of the world or on the bottom of...
Man, that freaking bastard sons are gods long forgotten was a hard enough bar. Then he brings us into the fact that on the island that's long gone rotten. So I'm guessing that's what he's meaning he means England. Or UK is that island has gone rotten. I think he's used that term before or something very similar, or one of these older cats have used that term. But I don't know the monolithic heads. Maybe he's at the statues, but when I hear monolithic heads and island, I think of Easter Island. But that thing about bastard sons or gods long forgotten, I mean, they again bringing God into it. The Bible says that the man is created in the image of God. So whether you're a rich man or a baby born into riches or royalty, you're in God's image. But if you're born as a fatherless child, living in poverty, you're a bastard child, but you're still in God's image. But you've also been forgotten, so you're a forgotten God. You're shipped away to the corners of society and left to rot unnoticed.
Monolithic heads on this island gone rotten. On top of the world or on the bottom of the food chain. We stay the same, but our fears take a new name. We're all players, so place your bets. You make your bed, laying it and pray for the best. Death's door stays open to all without prejudice. I'm the fifth element of war with my nemesis. Brainstorm
Genesis again, Bible. That's really cool, man, because he brings in rich and poor again, which kind of goes back to what he just said about bastard children, long forgotten gods. He's talking about rich and poor there, man. Like, whether you're rich or poor, we're still people. We still have problems. Our problems are different. They're the same, but they go by a different name, right? So if you're a rich person and you lose your job, your thoughts don't go immediately to, well, how am I going to feed my kids? It's, how am I going to pay for my, my 2 cars? How am I going to pay for my big house? How am I going to keep my kids in private school? But when you're poor, you think about, how am I going to feed my kids? How am I going to afford my rent? So although the problems are very similar, they just have different names, because you don't know, people who are rich don't know poverty. For the most part, there are people who've risen from poverty to become rich, but most people who are rich never know what it's like to have to worry about, where my next paycheck is going to come from. Where, if I don't get paid today, if I don't go to work today, I don't get paid, and if I don't get paid, my kid don't eat. Most people, man, live these days seem to live on that line, man, paycheck to paycheck. So although we all face similar shit, it just smells different. And he talks about that too, man. Rich or poor, bottom of the food chain or top of it, death's door is open, man. That shit does not close. You can't buy your way out of death. You may buy a longer life, but when that door opens, your ass is getting ushered through it regardless of how much cash, man. And you die like any other cat. You may prolong it, but you're going to die like every other cat, man. Shit.
Place your bets, you made your bed, laying it and pray for the best. Death's door stays open to all without prejudice. I'm the 5th element of war with my nemesis. Brainstorm Genesis, this is the start. My whole world's overcast, so I live in the dark. I adapt now, my vision is sharp.
It brings back the depression idea, because again, double meaning. Living in the UK, it's often you get this dreary weather, the rain, the overcast. So he's physically living in the dark because it's always overcast, but at the same time, like how I explain depression with this cloud over my head. So he lives with this overcast cloud, this depression, this angst, this anger is a cloud, this overcast, meaning he has to live in dark, man. He lives in these dark thoughts. He carries around this darkness that is forever with him. Man, another deep bar. Jesus. Just one after another, man. I could stop at every single bar and make this an hour-long video and just talk about every single bar. Is just absolute brilliance. Building upon building. Like it just builds on the next one.
My whole world's overcast, so I live in the dark. I adapt now, my vision is sharp. Go home to my house made of glass and throw stones for a laugh. The favourite that came in last, I clutch at straws and I'm cut by a blade of grass. I've done enough for you.
Well, you always know that saying, man. People who live in stone, or people who live in glass houses, shouldn't throw stones. And Jehst says, yeah, well, fuck it, I'm gonna go do it for a laugh, man. Meaning he knows he's done his shit. He's known he's done wrong. He knows he's not perfect. He knows he's made mistakes, all that kind of shit. But he's going to go to his glass house, and he's going to throw stones just for a laugh, man, and point out what other people are doing, their hypocrisy, and so forth. Jesus Christ.
But they came in last, I clutch at straws and I'm cut by a blade of grass. I've done enough for you, you've done nothing for me. I'm puffing a tree, the bloodshed you're rushing to see.
Oh, we gotta hold ourselves together.
Okay, I'm gonna have to think about that bar some more, because I don't understand it. I heard it twice now. And maybe you cats can put it down in the comments, because you guys are really good, man, at pointing that shit out to me. But I'm clutching at straws, but I'm cut by a blade of grass. So I know straw and grass is kind of the same. It can be the same. But I'm missing what he's saying. It just isn't coming to me. So if you guys have an idea, let me know, please, down in the comments. You guys are always great, man. You guys always lead me down the right path. And that part about being a favorite that comes in last, I wonder if that's kind of like the fact that most people you talk to about UK hip hop, Jehst's name always comes up, man. Oh, he's the GOAT. He's the best that ever lived. He's he's everyone's favorite rapper. And even the case that he's everyone's favorite, he still comes in last. He's still treated, maybe by the industry, or maybe just the way that he feels is that, I'm everyone's favorite, yet I'm still sitting here, kind of like, why there's other people who don't fall on people's top five, so to speak, who are getting riches and recognition and put up on pedestals, just as everyone's favorite, but he's left down here in the dirt. I wonder if that's kind of what he's getting at. It's interesting. And that final bar, man, about the blood, something with the bloodshed is what everyone's rushing to see. This track is 20 years old, man, but that bar right there is more relevant than ever these days. It seems like it's anger and outrage seems to be what everyone wants, man. You can post something on social media that is, I think Jehst is the best rapper that ever lived, and then you'll have some people agreeing with you. You'll have some people disagreeing with you. It may get a little bit heated, but if you were to post anything that is remotely considered controversial, people will lose their friggin' minds, and they go out of their way, and people go out of their way to search for that shit, right? They go out of their way to find something to be angry about, because that's the reason why they get up in the mornings. Like, what am I going to be angry about today? It's the reason why when there's a car accident, people slow down and look at it. Man, it's our lizard brain just wants to get in there and see see the carnage, see the blood, see the damage to another human being, which is just sick, man. Really, if you think about it, it's a sick part of our heads. That is part of our psyche. It's weird. We had a saying when I worked in journalism that it says it was, if it bleeds, it leads. Because if it bleeds, people want to read it. People want to pick it up. It's the reason why you watch the newscast, 11 o'clock newscast at night, and 90% of it is just death, mayhem, carnage, hate. And maybe once in a while you have a story about some guy saving a puppy. It's peppered in there here and there, but the vast majority of it is spreading hate, igniting the fire of division, and it's tearing us apart, man. It truly is.
See,
No, we gotta hold ourselves together. We got to. See, man, now pick up.
Now to think about it, keeping that in mind, maybe that's what Jehst is saying too. Is people are rushing people are rushing towards the bloodshed that they want to see. Meaning, maybe he's saying that the bloodshed is not actual that way, but more the fact of an uprising, a civil war or whatever, and they're rushing towards that. They want to see a change, and maybe Jehst is saying that change will only come with bloodshed, and that's what they're rushing towards. It could be, again, I'm clutching at straws.
No, we gotta hold ourselves together. We got to. See, man, now pick up the pieces. Somebody out there is gonna get us.
Latest sports news off the street bombers. Our friends are on second base and trying to make it all the way home. But the inside word is that the odds are against them. Stay tuned, bombers. Stay tuned.
Well, there isn't much more I can say, man, that I haven't said. We're already 30 minutes deep in this track, man, and I could could have honestly spent another half an hour. So many great bars, and the messages, man, like I said, they just built upon each other. It's kind of watching watching a car with no brakes, man, speeding towards the end, where there's a wall and there's no slowing down. I kind of felt like that with this track. It just kept building and building and building, and the more it built, the more brilliant. Well, believe it or not, one bar deep, man, just proved his brilliance with that winding to water bar, and he just continued to build upon that and his brilliance just showed deeper and deeper and deeper the further he went. And I'm telling you, man, that this track is going to be on repeat for me today, all day, and I'm sure that I'm going to find dozens of different things and shit that I wish I had said when I made this video. But like I said, it's already 31 minutes long. But yeah, man, I apologize it took me this long to get to it, because it's brilliant. It's a masterpiece of a track. So I appreciate you all coming out, man. Thank you for spreading the word on Instagram, telling your friends about the channel, because we just keep growing. Like I said, we're getting close to 2K, getting closer to the 1 year anniversary. It'd be pretty cool, man, if the stars align. And I plan on doing a live when we reach that 1 year anniversary. So yeah, man, thanks to everyone for coming by. I love each and every one of y'all. Thanks for being part of this journey. It's been fun, man, so much fun. So until tomorrow, stay safe and be good to each other.